What's up, YouTube? So in today's video, I've got an Eagle Bear build that is at 60% crit chance and 195% crit damage. This one, I had lots of fun to make. Definitely did my calculations, made sure that there was absolutely not even so much as a 0.1% crit chance was wasted. This is right at the 60% threshold, and not, like I said, not even a percent over. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm using the Eagle Bear with Detox rolled on it, and it's got two talents. First talent is called Eagle Strike, and accuracy increases as you continuously fire up to 30%. Headshot kills grant the tenacity buff for 15 seconds. The strength of the tenacity is increased by 1% for body shots and 5% for headshots. And the second talent is its tenacity. 40 to 80% of damage taken is delayed until the buff expires. All of the total delayed damage is reduced for each enemy killed while the buff is active up to 100% with 3 kills. Second weapon, we are using the Vector SBR 9mm. This is only personal preference. You can use whatever you want. Personally, this is one of my favorite SMGs in the game, so I'm going to be using this one as my placement holder. It's got the damage to armor rolled on it, and honestly, it's second best to Detox, so I just left it the way it was. I didn't even bother to change it. And it's got the talent Unwavering. Swapping to this weapon grants 300% weapon handling for 5 seconds. Kills refresh the buff. Swapping away disables this from all weapons for 5 seconds. And the sidearm, the D.U.B.S. Again, I'm only using this as a placement holder. You can use whatever you want. This doesn't really apply to the build itself, so it's just merely there because it needs to be there. But in case of mine, it does have Detox rolled on it, and it's got the Optimist. Weapon damage is increased by 3% for every 10% ammo missing from the magazine. Now moving on to the mask, we are using the Chill Out mask from Gilligard. So the way that you get this is every Christmas season you kill the loot goblin and he has a chance to drop this. You can just farm him over and over and over again. What makes this so special is that it actually has 2 mod slots in it that you can use aside from the attribute. So I've used my modification to change the attribute from, I think it was armor regen, and then just threw on a crit damage, and then added 2 more maxed out crit damage mods. So in one piece, I'm sitting at 36% critical hit damage. Second piece, I'm using a chest piece with the armor core. I changed the weapon damage to armor for that extra armor that I like to use in a lot of my PVE builds. The first piece bonus is giving me 10% crit chance, and I've got the crit damage attribute, crit chance attribute, and I went ahead and put on a critical hit damage mod. And this also has the Unbreakable talent. When your armor is depleted, repair 95% of your armor. Moving to the holster, I'm using the Walker Harrison Co. Tactical Range holster. It's got the weapon damage core attribute, max critical hit damage attribute, and a max crit chance attribute. And like I said, I very carefully calculated all of this, and not a single little piece of crit chance is being wasted. Onto the backpack, I've got, again, I've got 2 pieces of Fenris on this. The first piece bonus being that 10% assault rifle damage, and the core attribute is 50% weapon damage. And I've got the attributes max crit chance and a max crit damage. And I went ahead and added a max crit damage mod, and I changed the talent to Unstoppable Force, with this being a PVE build, and my crits being so high, I will be continuously proccing this talent. And it's killing an enemy increases total weapon damage by 5% for 15 seconds, stacks up to 5 times. So I can increase my weapon damage up to 25% within 15 seconds. And my second piece of Fenris is going to be the gloves. And that second piece bonus is going to give me 30% reload speed. I don't have the weapon damage core attribute maxed out on this. And honestly, I don't really see much of a difference, so I'm not too concerned with it. This thing already just melts, so I just run with it the way that it is. And if you want to, go right ahead and max yours out. But I have a max crit chance attribute and a max crit damage attribute. And last but not least, I'm using a Grupo Sombra Sundown Knee Guards. Now, one piece bonus is giving me that 15% critical hit damage. And I've got a max crit damage attribute and a max crit chance attribute. And that, with being max, puts me right at that 60%, not even a percent over. So I'm right at 60%. And that, with that being said, I was able to put everything else into crit damage. And as you can see in my stats, I'm right at 60% crit chance and 195% critical hit damage. And that's with the Eagle Bear. Now, let's go ahead and just pretend that some of you are probably going to want to use this build with the St. Elmo's. And let me tell you why I think that this would actually be a waste. Is because, sure, your critical damage is going to be at 200%. But if you were to run this same exact build and put on the St. Elmo's, let's go ahead and just mod this real quick. As you can see, he had 20% critical hit chance. I would be wasting my crit chance by at least 10%. So that's why I'm not using this, despite its 71 rounds and its fast fire rate, and it's a little more common of an exotic to get. That's why I'm not using it. Now, if I was to use this, I would have to change my build around just a little bit, swap out a piece or two. That way I'm not wasting any of my crit percentages, and I'm still maintaining that 200% crit damage. So, this build is specifically designed with the Eagle Bear in mind. Every piece. So if you have the Eagle Bear and you want to make this build, your stats will be exactly this. If you're at shade level 1000 and up. If you're not shade level 1000 and up, then your stats will be a little off, but this is still going to be an amazing build to use. So moving to the utilities, I've got the Banshee Pulse, and that's only just going to help me be aggressive, especially with my crits being up, and right now the Golden Bullet global event is out, so I'm having a little bit of fun with that off screen. The Banshee Pulse is there to allow just to be a little more extra aggressive. You can use whatever you want, of course. And also, since I play a lot of solo PVE, especially when I'm testing out these new builds, it's always important to bring a Revive Hive with you. You can't always count on the control point officer, and if you know, you know. And if you get knocked, then you still have a chance to get back up and get right back into the fight. So, with that being said, that's going to be the build today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you would like to make this build of your own, feel free to do so and let me know down in the comment section if you decide that you want to do this one or not. And if you have made this one and you enjoy it, please let me know all about it. If you enjoyed this build, please do consider giving a like on this video and subscribing to my channel for more videos like this. And until next video, guys, I'm MyStubbs, and I'll see you in the next one.
incoming.
Shit, I'm out.
Heavily armored hostiles detected.
Setting up perks.
Hostile supply convoy nearby. Detecting additional hostile contacts. Incoming backup request. Incoming hostiles detected.
I'd better fix that car.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Taking much damage. Enemy on our flank. Deploying a frag.
Reinforcements have arrived. Serious trauma detected.
Destroy it. We're ready for you. Frag.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.